Hi pilots, now 5 weeks after our crash landing, it's time to make a resume because we received a lot of feedbacks and inputs from pilots and non-pilots. So I want to shortly discuss that with you. And of course, by the way, I googled for some similar cases and I find 2 so far. This one was in Australia and it ended up left-hand side of the runway. And I found the case of Maggie, a 17-year-old student who has lost the wheel as well and landed in the grass.
Hotel Quebec Lima request. Hotel Quebec Lima, go ahead. Can you confirm the left main landing wheel was missing?
So the first input, I was not sure how the situation looked like from outside. So what I could have done is actually ask somebody on the ground to send me a video or a picture of the airplane, how it looks like. With this, it would have been much easier for me and for my student to decide what to do.
From sir. Thank you.
So not that we have any confusion now. Yeah. So the left one is missing.
Another comment asked me why you didn't declare an emergency. It doesn't cost anything, but it can help you a lot. Well, declaring an emergency will cause a lot of troubles, first of all. And so the pilots say 3 times Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. And the Mayday comes from the French m'aider, aide-moi, so help me, help me, help me, which in this case, on my opinion, is absolutely useless because nobody can help me in this situation from the ground. A few days later of this event, I spoke with the tower controller, which had duty in this on this day, and he confirmed to me, yeah, switching transponder code emergency doesn't bring a lot in this case because we had radio communication still established. So he agreed with me that it was useless to do this. And switching the transponder code to the emergency code, this will trigger a lot of issues on the ground as well, which does not help me either. So I decided to leave the transponder on the code that the tower gave me.
So we keep full aileron to the right as long as possible. You cut off everything in final. When I say, okay, fuel off...
I wait for your signal and then when then I'm cutting this, I'm turning off the fuel up.
0 wings 4 Bravo Bravo.
Okay, what else?
Yeah, what else? Good questions. Well, I have forgotten actually to brief the use of the fire extinguisher, which was under my seat. So that would have been a good idea to take the fire extinguisher out, give it to the co-pilot, explain the pin, explain the use, because if the plane was on fire, we could have fought the fire with this fire extinguisher. So I simply forgot. And as well, I forgot to brief my co-pilot about getting out of the plane. If we crash and let's say the right door is blocked, we could have kicked out the windows with the feet or maybe leave the aircraft via the baggage door. That would have been quite good if to discuss this case of getting out as quick as possible.
Which intersection?
Electrics off.
Yeah, let's switch off all electrics off.
Bravo Bravo Roger.
So I'll do that, I'll turn the fuel off and then I'll turn the electrics off.
Yeah. Try to bend to my side, because the more weight you have on the right hand side, the better it is.
I'll put my seat back then.
Yeah.
A bit more space. Oops.
Regarding the weight on the left-hand side, you see this flight was in the evening, so the sun was, I would say, shining for another 1 or 2 hours. My first idea was actually to empty the left-hand tank completely to have as less fuel as possible. But I didn't do. I emptied maybe half or so, and then decided, okay, let's go and land now, because mentally I was prepared and ready for this. And if I flew another 1 hour, I would say I would be not that focused anymore. One guy said, well, it's quite dangerous to empty a tank because the risk of an explosion is much higher than with a full tank. And of course, he is right with that. The fumes in an empty tank, they can explode, but a full tank cannot explode. But my thoughts were, okay, if we crash and the tank will have some cracks, the whole fuel will spill out on the runway, and if this fuel is burning, it's worse than just having a 90 liters of tank exploding. If it's just fumes, there will be no big explosion. So that's what's my way of thinking.
Without.
Okay, I put my bag on the right hand side.
Another input which is really clever and which I have forgotten, or which I would change for the future. I could have asked the fire brigade to spray some water on the runway. This will help the stump on the left hand side to skid better, and there will be less or no sparks even. So this would have been quite a good idea, to ask the fire brigade to water the runway. Another comment was, well, you should have gone on the right hand side of the runway to land, because the aircraft will slip and go to the left. This is actually correct. I briefed that as well. I say I want to land on the right hand side of the runway, but I didn't do. I cannot tell you why. I was just focused as usual on the center line. This helped me to have a guidance, or I don't know. I intend to land on the right hand side, but I didn't do it.
Okay, you can cut off everything.
Cut off.
Come to my side.
One guy said, well, why you didn't use the right brake after touchdown? That's quite a good question. You see, I go left of the center line, and my primary goal was to keep the left wing in the air as long as possible. As far as I remember, I didn't use right brake, because what will happen if you brake with the right foot, this will induce even more pressure on the stump sliding on a runway, which will then force the aircraft to the left even more. That's my way of understanding the physics. And when we compare our landing with this landing, you see the right hand wheel is missing and the aircraft is going to the left. So I think this guy has used the left brake, even steered, the nose wheel was going to the right. So I never talked with this pilot, but I see the result. So I think it's quite tricky to use brakes in such a landing.
Okay, get out.
So, and what you've seen here, the key is still in the both positions. So the ignition is still on. That we simply forgot. We briefed about that: mixture idle cutoff, battery master off, and ignition off. Yeah, this was a mistake from our side, because when the fire brigade then comes and touches the propeller, the ignition is still on, so there is a risk of an accident there. We simply forgot. And I saw a video from Captain Joe, and he said, well, this guy even raised the flaps, that the plane is not having pressure on the flaps. That was not my idea. I raised the flaps so my co-pilot can get out quicker in case of a fire. So that was my idea. I didn't care about the aircraft, actually. I cared about human life. So far, Anthony Dyson, my co-pilot and student, he meanwhile managed to get his PPL license. So congratulations to that. The missing wheel we still haven't found, and I hope one day some guy will come to us and say, hey, we found the wheel in the grass somewhere. I myself personally tried to contact Piper because, as far as I know, it happened already 4 or 5 times that Piper Cadet, Cherokee or Archer lost the wheel. But so far nobody replied on my emails, and I hope one day they will contact me or inform some other guys that this can happen. So that's about it. My reaction on the comments and inputs from your side. Thanks very much. And I hope this will help some other pilots in the same situation. Hopefully not. Happy landings. Bye-bye.